But let's talk about the fragile US-Iran ceasefire that is under fresh strain after Iran reportedly launched missiles at Israel in response to Israeli strikes near Beirut. Tehran says that the ceasefire was always conditional on peace holding across Lebanon, while Israel maintains its Lebanon operations are separate from the Iran negotiations. Trump is now urging restraint, reportedly telling Netanyahu not to retaliate as Washington tries to keep a broader peace deal with Iran alive. And a fresh point of friction has emerged as US-Iran negotiations, with Washington reportedly exploring the use of Iranian assets to compensate Gulf allies for war-related damage. Tehran is simultaneously demanding access to frozen assets and sanctions relief as a part of any eventual peace agreement. And meanwhile, Trump told reporters that the US will continue to get a lot of oil and there's no concern over the prices. Let's listen in.
A lot of oil is coming into our country. A lot of oil is coming into the world that people don't even know about. And that's why it's at $97 a barrel instead of $300 a barrel. And when that whole thing is straightened out, it shouldn't take long. One way or the other, it's going to get done. And when it's all straightened out, you're going to have oil prices drop down to maybe even lower than they were.
And well, the global airlines have sharply cut the 2026 profit outlook as the Iran war drives fuel prices higher and disrupts major air corridors. The IATA now expects industry profits of just $23 billion, nearly half its earlier forecast of $41 billion. Airlines face a double hit from the surging fuel jet costs and longer flight routes due to airspace restrictions, forcing carriers to protect margins through capacity cuts and higher fares. And Trump has publicly pushed back against the expectations of Federal Reserve rate hike, arguing the strong economic growth should not be punished with higher borrowing costs. His comments come just ahead of Kevin Warsh's first Fed meeting as the chair, after a stronger than expected jobs report prompted the markets to price in tighter monetary policy. Let's listen into what he had to say.
Unfortunately, we're in a world where for the last 15 years or so, when you have good numbers, the market goes down. When you have bad numbers, the market goes up because too much emphasis is placed on inflation. And you don't have to have inflation by having growth. And we have great growth, and that doesn't mean inflation. In fact, it could be anti-inflation growth. So I hope the market starts to learn that when you have good numbers, the market should go up, not down. Torsion.
Sorry, to give those job numbers, do you think the Fed should come rate at its next meeting? Do you think New Chair Kevin Warsh?
Well, I'm going to let Kevin make that decision. I'd like to see lower interest rates because each point, think of this, is $600 billion. Okay? So, you know.
And moving on then, the South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has nominated Han Seok-books on as the Prime Minister, potentially making her the country's first female Prime Minister in 2 decades. A former CEO of the internet giant Never, Han is expected to play a key role in South Korea's AI and technology agenda as the government looks to leverage its semiconductor strength and digital economy leadership to drive the broader economic growth. The role of Prime Minister is largely ceremonial and administrative under the South Korea's presidential system. And Alexander Zverev has finally broken through at the Grand Slam level, defeating Flavio Cobolli in a 5-set French Open final to win his maiden major title. The victory ends years of near misses for the German, who had lost his previous three slam finals. Now, Zverev became the first German since Boris Becker in 1996 to lift a major trophy and caps a remarkable journey marked by injuries, heartbreak and repeated questions about whether he could win the sport's biggest prize. Meanwhile, on Saturday, Mira Andreeva won the first Grand Slam title by downing a Polish qualifier Maja Twalinska in straight sets in the French Open final. The 19-year Russian became the youngest Roland Garros women's single champion since Monica Seles, then aged 18. And in a stunning display of talent and composure, 19-year-old Kimi Antonelli has taken the Formula One world by storm, becoming the youngest ever winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. Italian teenager continues his remarkable rise, securing a fifth consecutive Grand Prix victory and further strengthening his lead in the Formula One World Championship standings. As if that wasn't enough, Antonelli has also etched his name into the record books as the youngest driver in F1 history to achieve a Grand Slam, taking the pole position, leading every lap, setting the fastest lap and winning the race as well.